to nurture the human faculty, let us put it this way, in a different channels of life. From last 25 years, we also decided that we believe that humans are human and good and bad doesn't matter. There are different levels on which human has to concentrate. The life we live here now as we are, it has a faculty of ankrekaram, the predestined action of the previous lifetimes. Majority of the people believe, majority of the people don't believe, it doesn't make any difference. The longitude and latitude of the birth, the parents, the environments, and the faculty of life you choose is there to determine for you that it is true. They call sanskars. Some people are born in rich families, some born in poor, some born in very rich family become poor, some born in poor family become rich. And if you really look at the life, majority of them, you will not know why it is so. Most of the time, you are just with no understanding clearly, because the subject of life to object of life at 10% on each side and 80% is unknown. We have a very technical mind to ignore 80%. And majority of us are very much expert in wasting our mental energy. You have three energies. You have a physical energy, you have a mental energy, and you have spiritual energy. They have to work balance and keep the balance. The process of life which I have talked to people is a matter of heart. When they talk about matter of heart, do they understand what they are talking about? No, not at all. It's a very convincing word, matter of heart. Heart has the most rhythmical existence in your body. Its beat is always normal, regular, continuous. That's heart. So when you deal with the heart, you live with the heart, you talk with the heart, whatever you say, I'm not going to challenge that, then it means it has to be rhythmical, harmonious, continuous, everlasting communication. The impulse. You must impulse yourself to the universe. As you throw a stone and the waves goes all around equally without discrimination, whatever it is. That's heart. 99.9 recurring percent we do not live with heart, we all live with head. Not at all heart. And when a man lives with his head, it is fear, cleverness, lies, tragedies. Whatever we produce in our life is because of that head. Actually, you are a byproduct of sex. Vagina and penis. These are two God-given instruments through which you are, by the cohabitation of, you are born. That's your basic fundamental action. And you are byproduct of that conception in which spermatozoa enters the egg and fertilizes it. And you are also subject to the entire nurturing of the mother in the womb. And in the womb, first 120 days the soul doesn't enter and your body is ready to be received, receiving a soul, and then you receive a soul for another 120 days of that is what your mental structure is built. You cannot come out of it rest of your whole life till death. And then 120 days you totally develop to come out and get going. So in, let's say, 4 months is there. Month is countably 30 days. 120 days is 4 months. 3 months or 4, something like that. 4 months. And then 3 months, what is that? 7 months. And then there are 2 months for you to be pouched out. That's all your life is. And whatever mother and father and environment ingrinds, that goes. It's the most deepest effect of life. I have personally studied it. When I was born, the state was different, the status of my parents was different. When my older sister was born, everything was different than mine. I'm a villager plus a hillman. She was totally a hill byproduct. And my my brother and my sister, they were totally, after we were refugees, they're totally different. Environments do affect us. And our energy, in which we most of the time do wrong things to each other, and we do it very daringly and openly, that we want to get head of another person. If that very energy is converted, that we head ourself and make ourself as higher self, it will all make the difference. But that's not practical. I have seen people successful and then they falter. I have seen people useful become useless. It is amazing now, just watch this. Because our life is not based on merits and values. Our life is based on our satisfaction and our mental technique, how to get that satisfaction. That's why each one of us has a barrier. We are not real, we are not straightforwardly true. We believe that if somebody will know everything about us, perhaps it will damage us. The tragedy is everybody knows about everything, nobody says anybody to anything. People do not believe in confrontation. So within that time of your insanity and envy and jealousy and antagonization, you just grow up as stupid you can be. And finally you do not have any grip on life. The most grip on life to be loved, and most powerful thing you ever waste in your life is your mental energy. In useless daydreaming, night dreaming, nightmares. It's amazing if people can record their nightmares and daydreamings and all that, and they put that together and record it, how much spaced out they are and how much unrealistic they are, they can well understand. The basic value of the life is in maturity and in harmony and mutual. Life is mutual. How successful you are, how weak you are, how great you are, small you are, but when you deal with the other identity, it has to have a concept of relationship of mutuality. In that case, they say 1 and 1 makes 11. You have a mega power in you to be in harmony with another person. But you normally are in harmony with another person to control, to gossip, to put person down, to put yourself up, and play these head games. Head games have one setback. Head games will satisfy you, but it will not put you on the head of the game. That's positive. And you know, see some girls, they want to get married, and when they get married, they can't handle their marriage. Some want something, they never get to married. Some people wants to get married and they've married 19 times. You think there is a school here somewhere in New Mexico or United States where you go and learn all that? No. And in my technical life, I have studied with religious people and I have seen them and watched them. Everything is a game. Most pious person, they play game. And that's so evident they play a game. And religious people play more games than ordinary people. Because they're so scared, they don't want to. And you know, weakest person, you find who's the weakest person? I once asked some person, I said, why don't you come to the Gurdwara? He said, I can't stand it. Why not? He said, I just can't go. Do you do your banis? Yes. You live your earth? Yes. You love me? Yes. You love Sangat? Yes. Why don't you go to Gurdwara? I can't stand it. You go to a movie? Yes. Can't go to Gurdwara. So ask him, talk to me. Why don't you go to the Gurdwara? He's so scared of his idiotic status that in his Sangat, anybody can ask him any question. Because he asked me, he said, how you live? I said, what do you mean I live? I just live. He said, you go to the Gurdwara? I said, yeah. I speak there too. He said, how? You never prepare a note, you never write a note, you never know what you're saying. You just go and speak. I said, there's nothing to speak, there is a one truth. And somehow that has to be told. People have to be reminded to feel inspiration and there's a hope and they have all equal tomorrow. There's nothing much to study. He said, well, are you not afraid somebody can ask you a question? I said, what question? Let them ask question. When we cannot open ourselves and totally define ourselves in a very closet situation, how we can open to the universe and how we can open to God? You all have come from infinity to this finite state, and this finite state has to merge in infinity, and you must have prepared yourself in this lifetime experience of that. And that is where you need energy. That is how thousands of years ago all the sages and the rishis and the munis and swamis and yogis thought how a person in a household can have in a shortest possible time energy to be self-contained, self-content and self-conscious. And that is what awareness is. That's why Kundalini Yoga was called as Yoga of Awareness. It gives people awareness. And awareness, first principle of awareness is vastness. You can never be considered aware if you are not very vast. You cannot be considered aware if you are not very high. Up and up. You cannot be considered aware if you are not able to walk the entire length with a person who you have given your word. And you cannot be considered aware if you do not have a very positive depth of commitment, so other person can at least feel secure and in your friendship feel happy about it. So what life has? Life has length, width, height, depth. And it's your responsibility to be with it. You can talk to people to trust you, but you cannot deliver your trust to people. You cannot answer the call of your duty. You cannot answer your status. There are things which are required to be done. And those who want to rule themselves consciously and awarely has to obey rules. And what is not secret between two people in commitment is never sacred. That's why teacher and student is a commitment. That is why a Singh Sahib, a Mukhya Singh Sahib or a Sri Singh Sahib is a commitment. And there is a status to it. And then a person has to have a statesmanship and statement and a state to cover himself. When you have a status, people expect you to answer with that caliber of that status. When you are a human, then you are expected not to answer like an animal and behave like an animal, or fly away like a bird, or swim away like a fish. Life is a very serious challenge, and life is a very delightful challenge. In our life, we have certain good things, godly things, heavenly things. You cannot have a luxury of a negative thought, and you cannot have a neglectful strategy in your life. If you don't have a negative thought and you don't have a neglectful strategy, you can live in your own peace. Putting down other people, criticizing other people, negating other people will never give you a lift. Making other people painfully miserable and trying to create environments for them, or trying to feel very special and high up and all that stuff, whatever you do, or just not be a part of a congregation or very unsocial, and because of your status, you are somebody as a rich person or a spiritual person or a professional person. That's the biggest disease in the world. But for your profession and status and your social structure, politics or whatever you want to call it, you just feel that you are above others. And that when you feel above others or below others, it is called inferiority and superiority complex. You are not a human to begin with. And that constricts your jurisdiction of love, affection, and grace. What is a grace? When somebody is most ungraceful and stupid, if you just gracefully smile and say, I've heard this philosophy, thank you very much. Kindly live with it, and if you succeed, let me know. And walk away. I think there's a better way than getting into argument. You must understand that you are always interacting psychically with every other living human being, with every other human. And you almost understand there is some expectation of And when you conceive that expectation has to be delivered, then you should be one step ahead of it, if you want to be trusted. When you read the charge of Light Brigade and they say there's not reason why, there's but to do, and I wrote the 600 into the valley of death, that song does inspire all that when there's a call of duty, there's no denial. Majority of the people live in a very great denial. It can't happen to me, I'm not this, I'm not that. And when you are wrong, then you put on it a label of being compassionate, being kind, you know. But every stupid person knows that you didn't know about it. You didn't act right, you didn't do it correct. We are always in denial to face our own self and our incorrect thoughts and incorrect actions and incorrect planning. Sometimes we are so much in denial that the opportunity which comes by of nature, sanskars, we deny that. Then from those sanskar is our jivan sanskar, that is our this life actions and a manifestation and our training. In this training you can be very intelligent, very intellectual, very great, very sophisticated and highly appreciated, and you may be very successful on the earth realm, but if you are not equally successful on the mental realm and spiritual realm, your life will be handicapped. Then third sanskar which you have to live is called Amrit sanskar, where you bring hemans to yourself, nectar of God to yourself. You bring yourself to a deeper commitment, self-realization, and fully understand that you are you, nothing but that is work. In the beginning is you, in the middle is you, in the end is you. Adi Puran, Madh Puran, Ant Puran Parameshwara. God has made you that way. Then there comes the Ananda Sanskar. Ananda Sanskar is a song of bliss in which you live and you technically make in those actions to your part in life that you will not be only happy for yourself, you will try to make best happy to everybody, and you will just practice bliss and nothing other than that. Then you have lastly a Antam Sanskar. That's at the time you leave body, how happily you leave body, and as you come from infinity, what's your realization to enter back into infinity. These are the stages of life you have to grow into. There's a one thing called surrender. When a person surrenders to Almighty God, then the nature, Mother Nature, carries that child. So long you are clever with God, the hand of the unknown will never be for you. They say, Jithe Rab, uthe lage sabab. Where there is a hand of God, there something will happen good to carry you through. But we say there is a God, we believe there is a God, we trust there is a God, we talk about God, and to be very frank, on every street and corner of the world, there's more temples, synagogues, churches, and gurdwaras, and mosques, and whatever you want to call it. Why mankind has not learned that this planet Earth belongs to God? And why mankind doesn't understand our desire and our manipulation sometimes is just to cause a trouble and nothing else. I remember myself, I went to meet a man of God just for socialization. That was my purpose. So I was well received, I was just chatting, and there come another beautiful man, and that Santaji told me, "Oh God, you are here. This man has a car and his quota is sanctioned, but he is not getting it." I say, well, there must be a purpose for not getting it. He will get it when it is due. He said, no, 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 it's not a purpose and due situation. I understand if you put your word into it, he will get it. I said, that's what you want and that's what he wants. I don't think it will be any difficulty to me. But are you sure? He said, I don't understand. I said, you could have got car 3 months ago, but if you are not getting, somebody stopping, it may be a reason. Have you understood that? He said, yeah. They just don't understand me, or I'm not that very fortunate and I can pull. I said, all right. Are you sure you want a car? He said, yeah. So I looked toward the Sant. I said, Santji, are you sure that he must get a car? He said, yes. Why not? He should get a car. You want to come here and meditate and he's finding it difficult by coming by scooter and it's not right. So good, you'll get a car tomorrow 11 o'clock. Give me a call. So from his office he called. I've already made the arrangements. I go to such and such, ask him about my telephone, and he'll give you the car. Naturally, he went there out of his special quota. They gave him a car, gave him the keys, because money was prepaid. Matter ended. I forgot. Everything gone over. About a month or two, I don't exactly remember how much time was. I then, in the neighborhood, I said, let us go and see this and see what he's doing, study his drama. So I went there. He was very good, eagerly receiving me. I said, well, something has happened. He said, I was waiting for you. I understand you were coming around this area. You did telephone so and so. I said, yeah. He said, I was very eagerly waiting. Can we go? I said, where do you want to go? He said, to the hospital. I said, what went wrong? He said, you know that man who got the car, his car got totaled. He's in a hospital accident. I want to go and see him. So I said, let's go. So we went. His eyes have 2 holes, his mouth had a hole, and his one leg was this way, the other was that way, his hands were this way and that way. His whole chest was plastered. Hardly there was any part of the body which was not very white as we wear in Triacho. And I said, I'm not worried about you. You are wearing a very powerful cover. What happened to the car? He spoke, he said, totaled. Well, 4 months later, he was in therapy. 6 months later, he could walk. So we met once, and he came to thank me that I came to his hospital. And I said, do you understand that only our will is to obey the will of God? And when we make our best effort, we should not overdo it or underdo it. He said, I have never done in my life anything wrong. I said, no, you like to steal the opportunity by pressuring the nature. You were a good man, that was perhaps God knew it, that you can't have a car, so it was getting delayed. You put a pressure and you got it in the neck. See what happens? He said, I never thought that way. You most of the time don't think that way, that out of your food there may be one part of that food can make you sick. It may have certain germs which you do not know. Because there's nothing much you can see. If you are so good in your sight, then you sometimes even don't read your traffic light boards, which are very prominent. And most of the time some people accidentally have exited and wrong exit. So life is a constant, caring, creative awareness. And that's what we are trying to develop. A class of people who have faith, grace, and they can walk their own race. And God, the unknown, may keep hand in hand with you and follow your trace so that you can be not in trial and test all the time, but you can have very easily a life of triumph. I have understood many times, I say, well, it's not expected of this man. And you ask them question, why you did it? I don't know. And you believe me or not, when 25, 26 years or 27 years, whatever you call them, I came to the United States, I talk to some people and say, I don't know. I almost fell on a chair and broke it. I couldn't believe a human can answer, I don't know. You can answer, I would like to know. You can answer, I'll search it out. But straight front denial, I don't know. That takes you out of the category of a human. And then I further learned there are two things you use very commonly, and now I have learned others few more. I am freezing at 65-degree temperature. I am starving when the refrigerator is overflowing. I am extremely depressed as you have achieved the crownship in God's kingdom. I am confused. You know, mostly as a human you are sick. You all want to play sympathy, apathy game, and that way you use your nervous system to the point you become totally insensitive living human. It's the worst game humans play. And in their commotion of such satisfaction, you are a social animal. To be alone is very difficult for you. Well, you have a God, you have a guru, and you have your consciousness and environment, and you have your courage, and you have a thoughtful self, as expanded as anything is, when you are lonely. So sometime we have to learn this kriya. It is called sadhaka kriya, which we are going to face now, and we'll go through it. Are we ready? I give a very good preface so that you can do it right. This is left hand. Put all 4 fingers and thumb in one place like a closed flower. It will start hurting after a while and you will like not to keep it, but you have to. It's a very simple thing. See my hand, all my fingers and my thumb is closed. And it's just like I have a flower lotus like this. And these fingers like this are wide open. Now understand, this is a very powerful exercise. It is not to be played around or fooled around, because it's going to deal with your tattva energy. I mean, you are going to feel as you have to feel. Correct? And now make your spine straight as you possible, and make this hand, flower hand, and this hand like this, very self-controlled. That it is there. Rest of the body is spine straight, chin in, chest out. Correct? Now, you close your eyes. Now, you make a U round O of your mouth and you inhale deep and then you exhale deep and then put some tape with that rhythm. think put that Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, that would be easy. At Satnam, Satnam they can breathe in, at Vaheguru, Vaheguru they can breathe out.
Sat Nam
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ 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 ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ Inhale deep and stretch your hands up, please, and lock them and put your palms up and stretch your spine as powerfully and forcefully you can do. Exhale. Inhale again. Lock your fingers. Put your palms upward. Stretch every part of the being. Stretch up. Exhale. This is one chance more you have got. Inhale deep. Lock your fingers and go and go and go and go and go and stretch and stretch. Lift up your body from the base. Lift. And with a cannon fire, relax out. Relax now. This kriya you have to do 11 minutes. It will balance the tattva. It will give you a patience, strength and endurance. It's not. And I wish all of you for 11 minutes in your day or night in the afternoon start using practice one breath a minute. 20 seconds to inhale, 20 seconds to hold, 20 seconds to exhale. That's as simple as that. Hand folded in the centers to neutralize your elements. We are starting here to, actually I have to be here to be with my doctor, and I have promised to come to Santa Fe to change my medicine, and I think I felt safer to leave Los Angeles and come here and take care of my things which I have promised with him. So for that much time I'll be available with you, and we'll have twice a week class where we'll practice things. And class will start normally 8 p.m., but we will not promise what time it will end. So some of the things, because my position now is to prepare you for your tomorrow, so there should be no sorrows. Bless you guys, thank you. You are well trained, keep it that way. So technically speaking, your life, your happiness, your contentment is in your health. By the way, majority of you are suffering many things, and you are very nasty, obnoxious, and you don't care when you say things. Daikon radish juice, half, and with cucumber juice, 1 part, and putting celery juice, 1 part. So all told, it's 6 ounces, and let's say 4 ounces or 2 ounces, total 8 ounces, let's put it there, twice a day. May not do any miracle at all. It's totally useless, it smells bad, it's horrible, you talk sometime that you should be put before a foreign squad. But do you know that it can take away extra fat of your body, cleanse your liver, spleen, absolutely make you a new person? Are you aware? No. You just talk sometimes things which you do not, it means you do not value life, you value taste. And what is your taste? Do you know what is the taste of ill health is? Sick health is quite painfully tasteful. And if you want to reduce within this, before spring coming, you should take walnuts, cashew nuts, almonds, and this pistachio, cashew, walnuts and almonds, 4 nuts, and you make a milk out of it. Put pure water in it and just drink that. And if you are very kind and compassionate, put an ounce of ginger juice and 2 ounces of lemon juice, and see how healthy and how fast and how energetic you can be. This fast is difficult for first 3-4 days, and after that you will be ever grateful that you knew the formula. If you are very hungry and cannot resist, then eat thrice a day, 8 a.m. There's a time with it, these kind of things, biorhythm. 8 a.m., 12 noon, and 4 p.m. And you will be surprised how good you can be. And it's not something which you should not do now. You should, because spring is coming, new blood, new life will sprout out in you too. And if you give a nurturing base now to the body and eat light, you will be very healthy. And whenever I drink that juice, oh, people make faces, nose, and as they have never drank anything awesomely wrong. It's very amazing that people can go to that oatmeal, what is that store? Wild Oat, to buy health organic food at double price. And I see them other times eating junk, which I don't think our dogs will take it. And these are health freaks. And these are most health freaks, they will do no sugar, no, honey, not. And whenever they go to a movie, whole 3 packets of M&M goes into the stomach without even questioning what they're doing. So I mean, you are really, there's a book out, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I think there should be a book out, Western are from North Pole and South Pole together. Nobody can predict you where are you from and what you're going to do and what your solutions are. But I want to tell you, if you want to be healthy, you are what you eat, and change your diet, and you will not die. Alapahar sulp sinandya, that's what Guru Gobind Singh said. Daya, Chima, Tanpreet. Daya, kindness, Chima, forgiveness, and Tanpreet, love of your being. There are some important things in life. Mana, mind, Tana, body, Tana, wealth. So you have to understand that. Right now, let us do our common prayer. May Blessed God, with every breath of life, give us the power to enjoy in gratitude Thy creative self and creation, the universe around us, and unisonness of our love, affection and grace. Give us the advancement to be always kind, compassionate and serviceful to all, and for every time. Give us the fearlessness of Thyself so we can trust Thee and live in that expansion conscious, so we can be always genuinely grateful to Thyself. Satnam. Now go home and have fun. Dr. Sri Atma must be here somewhere. I have to see him. And what is this you are going to serve? Tomorrow is a class or not? Huh?
Yes.
Tomorrow is a class?
Yes.
Is that true? What cookies are these for? Why didn't you ask her to sing? Sing a great birthday to her.
Happy birthday.